Legends Arceus music be hitting kinda different. Through the lens of a meme long past its prime, I've taken a look at some of the music throughout the Pokemon series, and while Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl had some great music, it's pretty much the same as their original incarnations. With the release of the true Sinnoh remake, Pokemon Legends Arceus, we've gotten some great new tracks that build upon and reinvent what came before. Even with a game so recent, the music feels nostalgic while still being thought-provokingly new. There would be no better place to start than from the beginning. Playing this game for the first time was exciting, but also a bit scary. I knew this would still be a Pokemon game, so there wouldn't be too many drastic changes, but there was something about the ambiance set up from the first moments of the game that gave me goosebumps. The music at first is little more than droning white noise, appropriate for the void that Arceus has sucked the player character into, but the opening cutscene with the track titled Follow Arceus evokes feelings of legendary areas from Sinnoh, with the haunting traditional instruments filling Hisui with life that we only get a taste of here. The very end of the song feels only like the beginning, as it's even the notes that the very first trailer of Legends Arceus started off with, and that's because it's actually the beginning of the Obsidian Fieldlands theme. It's hard to imagine that it was a whole year ago when I first got a glimpse of Hisui, but with that subtle intro, the journey can truly begin. And talk about quite a tone shift as we meet Professor Laventon and hear his theme, which is characteristically cheery for him. It's very different from the other Professor themes and doesn't seem like it ties into Hisui that much. But he is from another region after all. It's real groovy and serves as a warm welcome despite the fact that the player character just fell from the sky moments ago. Some parts feel like they were taken from Generation 4 sounds, but as a whole it feels very modern. But with that, we enter Jubilife Village. Despite this place being one of the largest towns of the 3D games, the music here makes it feel small and quiet. It's the first settlement from the people who have come to Hisui and who just want a new peaceful start. The outdoor day theme is perfect, it just feels so welcoming, even though the villagers don't at first. But I mean, they get friendly pretty quick. I think town themes in Pokemon are sometimes underrated. They're definitely not as exciting as battle themes, but they're not meant to be. They're meant to set the mood of whatever town you're currently in, and to be very long or repeated for a long time. This is one of those Pokemon themes that once it gets in my head, I just end up whistling it the whole day. And that's not at all a bad thing. It feels like home. Once we head into the Galaxy Expedition Team headquarters, we're hit with a theme that makes you sit up straight because everything is so dang organized here. Well, aside from Professor Laventon's office, it's all more so organized in the sense of paperwork and such. But I like this theme. It's a contrast to almost every other theme we hear in the game, and it only makes sense because the Galaxy team is the odd one out in Hisui. But this theme is a lot like a remix of Professor Rowan's lab while also being its own. Nice little touch as Commander Kamado is Rowan's ancestor. But from here, the music of these games only picks up. The trainer battle theme is so good, and again it has the DNA of the trainer battle theme from the original Diamond and Pearl. See what I meant about this game being the true Sinnoh remake? But in my opinion, it just works so much better in this context of Hisui, where modern technology allows for so much more depth. While I don't know exactly what instruments are used for the whole thing, it would fit right into a game set in modern times, or at least the Pokemon equivalent of modern times. I'm not usually so taken by standard trainer battle themes in Pokemon, but this one just goes so hard. The bridge has got to be one of the best I've heard in a long time for Pokemon. But as we set foot into the Obsidian Fieldlands, there's a whole world of opportunities. These wild areas are where we end up spending most of the game, and the music in them changes often, so it's not like the usual route themes that we're used to in Pokemon. There are so many that I don't know if I could cover them all, so I'll be going over the ones that stuck out to me and were suggested by, well, all of you. Obsidian Fieldlands 2 has got to be one of my favorite from the early areas. Rather than giving the curious and mysterious feelings the previous tracks did, this one goes for a more definitively adventurous feeling, because by this point you as a player and protagonist have probably gotten a good feel for how to move about the area and how to handle the wild Pokemon. As usual, it mixes in themes we know from the original Sinnoh games, specifically Route 203 and Samgen Town, because those roughly line up geographically to this area. It's the nice little touches like this that make the game feel so connected to its legacy. However, the curious thing about lining up geographically is that sometimes that logic is just kind of thrown out the window. Because the Heartwood, which is located in the Obsidian Fieldlands, has a theme that adapts Eterna Forest. While it fit Eterna Forest as a mysterious place with trees so dense and a haunted mansion deep inside, it serves more as a backdrop for the Heartwood, which is more welcoming, as it's not that big, has a nice stream that runs through it, and is home to a noble Pokemon. While the original Eterna Forest theme is still there and is what starts off the song, wind instruments build upon that as well as another piano entirely. That makes it feel much more calming. Weirdly enough, the Heartwood could potentially be a higher trafficked area, while the music gives a feeling of a hidden forest. When you first enter this area, there's a bit of build up towards some mystery as we're on our way to calm the frenzied Cleavor. But after that, the theme just serves to make this a chill place. It's so weird for a song so good to be used for such a small and frankly not as memorable area. But once we enter the boss area and are treated to a callback to the intro of the Sinnoh games and some funky drums and even a sitar, what the heck? Why does it sound so good? We get into the boss battle against the noble Pokemon. The music is the same for every frenzied noble Pokemon, but it fits them all so well. It's a bop that only heightens the feeling of facing down a Pokemon one-on-one and sometimes having your Pokemon battle a little bit. The different phases it goes through are also so dang good. There's a weird sound in the back that seems almost distorted, but this obviously is meant to give the feeling that this is somehow related to Arceus, or to legendary Pokemon. And moving on to the Crimson Mirelands, I'm so surprised how energetic the beginning of it is, and how it keeps this feeling throughout the entire song. It feels like the Great Marsh music, again because they're meant to be parallels. One thing I loved about the areas in Legends Arceus is how each new one you unlock feels more grand than the last. It's the perfect progression from one to another. Walking out into the new land you've been tasked with exploring is given so much more meaning when you've got a great song at your back. I think I ended up spending a lot more time in the Crimson Mirelands, and I think the theme captures everything I felt. This same adventurous feeling continues in the Cobalt Coastlands as it remixes Route 110 with some insane guitar just breaking the music wide open in the best way possible. The types of instruments used makes it feel like a Generation 5 song, but fully realized in modern games. I have no idea how this could be so good for another area. Like I said, these wild areas take up most of the game, but there are just so many of them. I do genuinely like all of them though. Legends Arceus has some of the strongest music tracks, being a mix of new and old and carrying with them the exact feelings you should be feeling when setting out to explore, whether it be adventurous or mysterious. Alabaster Icelands also deserves a shout out. But after visiting all the lands of Hisui and calming the noble Pokemon, the story really picks up and is a roller coaster from here until the end. After being exiled while the sky has just gotten really messed up, the music changes to fit the mood as it's extremely ominous. It has a kind of droning we've heard before, but it's accented by somber music that gives an uneasy feeling. Everything is still moving and living, but it's not alright. And finally, getting to solve the mystery gives us some amazing music. Yeah, sure, there's a nice remix when we get to battle the first legendary Pokemon, Palkia or Dialga, but when it comes time to battle the opposite in their origin form, oh, you just know it's going down when the music starts off with operatic vocals. It's the epic feeling of encountering a big legendary Pokemon, but then it kicks into overdrive. I know there have been some uses of more modern instruments throughout the entire game, you just can't escape them, being a game made in modern times. But there's just something about the way these instruments give the unexpected punch for a Pokemon originating from beyond our known world, and in a form that we as a player have never seen before. Then it comes back into the intimidating build-up reminiscent of legendary Pokemon until it breaks back into the battle style. With how much this song changes from moment to moment, it becomes so hard to describe. A lot of people just normally mention that one part, but the whole song is so good because everything just fits so well in different ways. Because this is a boss battle in the style of Pokemon Legends Arceus, there's never a dull moment or barely even a moment to breathe until after you've defeated this thing. And the space-time distortion thematically makes sense why the song is such an eclectic mix of sounds, instruments, and feelings. I've got to say that one of my favorite parts of this song is when most everything fades away and the bells take over and the drums build up. It just gives me this huge smile as it almost feels like the little bit of encouragement you need to finish things off. I just love this song so much, for sure my favorite of the entire game. But after this battle, we've saved the day and it's finally over. For about 5 minutes while the credits roll. There's still so much more to do in the post-game, and all of it is scored by even more of the music that we know and love. Of course, there's the entire encounter with Volo, though I've kind of already discussed the music while talking about the battle as a whole. But the TLDR is that it's a great use of music for Volo, and the remix for Giratina's theme is one that it desperately needed. It's so good. But after rounding up every legendary Pokemon, there's just one thing that remains. Yes, the final challenge of Pokemon Legends Arceus is battling Arceus itself. At this point, we've already saved all of Hisui. Twice. So after seeking out all Pokemon, this battle with Arceus is more of a reward for completion. Arceus' final test, and thanks for saving everyone, but oh my gosh, this dude is not holding back. The battle theme for this encounter hardly even feels like battle music. At first, it's pretty much the same music used in the Arceus event from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, when Arceus creates an egg, which is great. Even though it doesn't work the same as other battle themes, it does sound extremely intimidating in this context. But as the battle continues, the tempo increases and more sounds are added into the mix that give it that strange otherworldly feeling like with Palkia and Dialga. Then going from phase to phase, it only gets faster and even more chaotic, until finally the song itself feels like it's being torn apart. Exactly the type of distortion that fits what we've been seeing throughout the entire game. At the end of the battle, it hardly even counts as music, but instead is what I imagine you hear as you're being pelted with relentless energy beams as Arceus' power goes stronger and stronger. Oh my gosh. This has got to be one of the most insane battle themes I've heard for a Pokemon. Again, by the end it's not even music, and I don't think I could say I like it as music. But as the backdrop to this crazy battle, I love how perfect it is. Instead of stopping to enjoy the music, you need to continue battling just to get it to stop. Arceus is attacking you on all fronts, including the game's very music. This is the one time I've physically been hit with music in a Pokemon game. But it really just shows how much Game Freak wanted to try out new things. The most experimental piece I've heard caps off the soundtrack in the weirdest way possible. Pokemon Legends Arceus was such a fun experience. The music was only one part of the journey, but it helped tie everything together. Obviously, there were some specific tracks here and there that I didn't get a chance to bring up, but everybody's got their favorites, so let me know what yours is in the comments below. I think in a game where every piece is so strong on its own, it's hard to highlight everything deserving of praise. An excellent blend of legacy and innovations, Pokemon Legends Arceus music hits different. But anyway, hey, this is GatorX, and let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can follow me on Twitter as well, and I've also got the vlog channel that you can check out at the end. But anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.